First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
So let's talk about football. We are back this evening.
Lighten up the airways tonight at 6:30. We're going to be doing the Buena-Nogales game tonight. So Buena's 1-1, going against Nogales 0-1. Nogales was idle last week, so it should be a pretty good game. I know the Buena is going to have a setback. Their quarterback, who's only, I believe, sophomore, was injured last week in the Marana game, coming off that loss. But so they got a possible freshman starting tonight, which this is a very young team of Buena. We need to understand that and respect that. So they're going to be going to Nogales tonight without their quarterback, it sounds like, unless something's changed here in the last 24 hours. And it should be a good game. I mean, both teams are young, so it should be a good game. I think Buena can pull it, though.
And if you didn't know, Sheriff Mark Daniels calls these games, and the kickoff is at 7 o'clock, the pregame at 6:30, and it's right here on KWCD 92.3 this year.
Yeah, we're excited. And one of the teams in the county that's really stepping up being, especially in the 2A San Pedro division, is Wilcox. The Wilcox Cowboys and Cowgirls is really doing well this year. So you're going to see them go deep into the playoffs. So if you're following, take a look at Wilcox. The other team that's just amazing this year in the 1A division, or excuse me, it's the 1A, the small division, 8-man football, is St. David. St. David's got a pretty good program going over there. They have for the last several years, but I mean, they're like outscoring there. I don't think they've even been scored on so far this year. I'm going to do some research today on that, but yeah, they are just kicking some butt out there in football.
Today at 9 o'clock, there is a jail district meeting, and kind of remind everybody what this jail district is for.
Jail district, again, I know you're hearing a lot about that over the last few months, whether it be the service to Herald, our radio station, and beyond, is a group of citizens throughout Cochise County from different backgrounds have come together to get educated on the jail district and get educated on our jail. What is our jail all about? What are the needs? What are the demands? And what are the huge challenges? So once they get up to speed on our jail, then that group will come up with a consensus of, do we rebuild, do we remodel, or do we repair, or a blend of all. And they'll be talking to the experts that we brought in over last year to look at our jail, so they'll also get the same briefs and see the same studies that we have. And then that group will take it to the Board of Supervisors and back into the community and say, we need a new jail. And that's the ultimate here. I think we all know that, but we want to make sure we're transparent, and we're working very close with our community and this group here to get that answer out there.
And the community is invited, and you can tune in via Zoom meetings, and you can go to cochise.az.gov at 9 o'clock to take part in those meetings, and you can watch those. And kind of explain a little bit of what executive session means when the public is tuning in.
Well, these are public meetings. This is a formed public body, so they have to go by their public meeting rules. And they do go into executive session, usually when it's something to do with security or personnel, sensitive information. They'll go into executive session. We're not going to go in there and talk about somebody's, and I'm just giving an example of executive session. If you're going to talk about somebody's personnel performance, you usually do that in executive session. And those are protective sessions for all the right reasons. When we go into executive session when it comes to the details of our security in our jail, because we don't want that out to the public. I mean, we want to safeguard our inmates in our jail, so we don't, and those that maybe would like to get their loved one out, we don't want to have to know our security measures. So, again, that's what executive session is. It's something that once it's said in that meeting, it can't be said to the public.
And then next Friday, they're going to actually get a tour of the jail so they can see all this information that they're collecting, see firsthand what the jail actually looks like.
Right. And like I said, they've seen everything from what the impact of the border is on the jail, our relationship with the courts, how do we transport, I mean, the infrastructure of our jail, and you name it. They've already heard a lot of this, so they're going to cap that here in 2 weeks to actually go see the big white elephant now. And that's really what it is, the big elephant in the county when it comes sitting down in the middle of the county there in Bisbee. So, again, this is an information educational experience for this committee. Now it's going to share that back with the community.
And speaking of our communities and people giving back to them, it's with sad news that we have for Jose Duarte, who was Douglas Police Department and then Arizona Department of Transportation for some time, and he lost his fight earlier this week.
He did, and let me just say, and we just talked about that 3 weeks ago, I think it was, when they gave him an escort from ADOT, law enforcement, multi-agencies, brought him home, and I talked to Jose a couple months ago, and such a strong-willed, optimistic person, and he knew the fight in front of him, kept his chin up, kept his family close to him, and of course, he passed here this week, and that was hard to read. It was hard to get notified on that one, and Jose was a good man, served his community well, and I know he had been through a lot the last couple of years, so my prayers go to him and his family, and God bless them all, because I don't wish that upon anybody.
And we appreciate all the doctors and nurses and everybody in the medical or healthcare field, because I tell you, working up close and personal with these people this week, or just in general for Jose as well, they do a phenomenal job. So we appreciate all of them.
They do, and I just want to give a shout out to his family at Douglas Police Department and ADOT, and that's tough. We're extended families of their personal families, so I know they're mourning on this too, and his own family, and so my thoughts are out to all law enforcement on that work so close with Jose.
There were a lot of sheriffs in Cochise County this week.
Yeah, you probably saw a lot of cowboy hats running around and all these unmarked trucks from different states with different license plates, and we had a sheriff's conference, started Monday. They come flying in last weekend, and then Monday we kick it off with an opening ceremony. And I want to talk just briefly on that. This is the 10-year passing of Sheriff Larry Deaver. And Carol, thank you. You did an amazing job of putting that together. Brad Deaver, Brendan Deaver, who's a colonel stationed up on Fort Huachuca, the brigade commander up there now for the MI, Nancy and all the grandkids, and Faith, and with Brad's wife. They all came together on this, and it was a touching ceremony that remembered a iconic sheriff that served over 3 decades of his life for this community, this state, and this country.
And they did, just having all of them there, she received a sheriff's office flag as well. And thank you to Tombstone High School, ROTC. They did an amazing job at what they did. Yeah,
we actually have an agency flag now. We've implemented that. So those that retire or those that have served in past, we dedicate that to the family. We fold it and give it to the family. In this case, we hadn't had the flag when Larry passed, but we dedicated the flag and presented that to Nancy last Monday. And also the Governor Ducey actually did a proclamation for Larry Deaver for his years of service to the state of Arizona. And it was touching. Karen, you and I have worked with him for a long time, and he was a role model for this community. And people can argue all day about what they didn't like this, didn't like that. I'm not here to discuss that. What I'm saying is he served honorably to make this a better county, and bless him for what he did, and God bless him too.
And the Sheriff's Assist team was there, and just 24/7 for the entire duration. So thank you so much to the Sheriff's Assist team for everything they did. John Black and Steve Ziegler and everybody there, Jim Vlahovic, Townsend, Linda. Yeah. Everybody. I can't even name them all. You have Dave, and you have, my mind is going blank, and it's like when you get an award and you forget half the people, and I don't want to do that. But all of these people, just seeing the emails going back and forth and the logistics and everything getting taken care of. Thank you so much to the Sheriff's Assist team. Thank you to everybody at Sierra Suites for hosting, allowing us to have that there. Cassandra was one of the linchpins of that, and apparently she took a picture with Grady Butler, and they posted it behind the registration desk.
I saw that.
Yeah,
that's good.
I wasn't expecting that. It's nice, very cute.
Yeah, so everybody did a really good job. So we appreciate everybody coming together like that.
They did, and it did turn out so nice. And this was the first time ever we had a joint sheriff summit. That's what we called it, where you had national sheriffs association, Western states, major county sheriffs, Southwest border, and even Texas border sheriffs. That's like a country in itself, but coming together for the first time. And then we had the major county Police Chiefs Association there too. It's not even listed on this, but and we had some very healthy discussions that centered around community challenges, drugs, the opiates, fentanyl, border, you name it, how we come out with a collective message. Look for that. It is coming. We did some work on that yesterday before we broke, but that's what we did all week, and just shared each other as sheriffs and kind of educated all of us. And Carol, I want to give you a shout out as the point to this conference. Thank you. You did an amazing job. You really did. You put your heart into this, and like you do everything. So Carol, thank you. You're humbled, but I'm going to give you some credit on that. So.
And then also they did do some entertainment stuff. We descended on Tombstone, and that was a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, the streets of Tombstone were filled with cowboy hats from sheriffs around the country. John Behan would have been proud of us, wouldn't he?
Yes.
So and then we went to a ranch here and had dinner in the county and had a tour into Bisbee. So again, we touched Cochise County in a very positive, and let me just say this, economic way. So every mayor should be very happy.
And so they got to see a lot of border activity, hear a lot of things that were going on the border. And while you guys were out and about, even, just listening to the radio, I hear that you have groups with you and coming back, and Safe Streets is running, and not even Safe Streets, but just our general, hey, it's a Tuesday night type of a thing. They had pursuits going. They had captures. They had all kinds of stuff, and you had a couple sheriffs help you with a motor vehicle accident.
We did. This was Tuesday night, I believe it was. Excuse me. So we had Safe Streets. There were 6 pursuits in a very small window. I mean, from the Tombstone area over to the Sierra Vista area. Well, we were coming back from the Tombstone event, and I had a sheriff from South Dakota, and I had the National Sheriff Association president from Vermont with me. So we're coming back, and we come around the corner off Charleston, coming up toward 90 bypass in front of Burger King area there, and here's a motorcycle with 2 people. They were involved in an accident, 2 people on the ground, and then a car in the middle of the road. So we pulled up, and there were injuries to this crash. So the South Dakota sheriff and the Vermont sheriff were holding C-spine and providing medical aid along with myself. And then we had the Yuma County sheriff with us, who also was out there providing support, traffic control. Long story short is, so we're waiting for the ambulance to arrive, and then I hear on the radio, there's 3 pursuits in the Tombstone area. That is a huge concern, because when you have injured people from a motorcycle crash and they're laying on the asphalt, and you got people going, I heard the 100+ miles an hour, like we all are experiencing here, was I need to secure that scene even more. So our deputies came out there, and we had deputies on both sides, so they wouldn't come through there at 100 miles an hour and run over a victim of a motorcycle accident. So again, this is what we're dealing with when it comes to this border right now. It's just, again, it's just not a good scenario. It's not, and the sheriffs here actually experienced that.
And we sometimes we get criticism for putting this information on our Facebook, especially if they're juveniles, U.S. citizens, and they're coming through. They're making sure that they're trying to get the almighty buck. But the one of the ones in Tombstone, when he was apprehended, he even told our deputy, hey, I follow your Facebook, and he's local. He's from Cochise County, and he's 17. And he said, hey, I follow your Facebook. I don't want to be on that. Welcome to the real world. So this has something has got to give here.
Yeah, he actually sent an email saying, "Listen, I'm a juvenile," because he's 17. That I don't think you can have that on there. He put, I think, bottom line is, don't smuggle your face won't be on our Facebook page. Simply put. And so again, we put that out there, a snapshot as transparent to what my deputies are seeing, what law enforcement is seeing, Border Patrol. Second to that is you won't have to worry about having your face on our Facebook for smuggling or running from the cops, whatever it may be. And this individual ran from the cops too. He ran from us. And if you don't get involved in crime, I promise you, we want to put you, unless we're celebrating something together on a positive note. Otherwise, your face won't be on our Facebook page.
Also on our Facebook page, we had a story in Bisbee about a semi-truck that turned over.
Right, and so when we were trying to get out, traffic safety information and, let people know that there's going to be a detour, we took a couple hits on there. But just so you know, when we get the information, initially it was that a semi overturned. And so we try to get that out there as quickly as possible. But we're definitely not above making corrections. So it did not overturn. It jackknifed. It's just like a matter of semantics.
But it's how it came in, though. In fairness to that, we take the information how it comes into dispatch. And I was listening to that, and that was very confusing. But either way, we have a problem with the semi, Carol. And the way you put that out there was a positive thing, not into dramatize the situation, but it was. You had all lanes blocked that one from I think it was the westbound lanes were blocked. I heard it that morning.
So just for everybody to know, if you see something like that, and you say, wait a minute, that's not accurate, let us know and we'll fix it, because we did do a correction on that. But we just try to get the information out there as quickly as possible. And sometimes, again, the verbiage may be a little bit off, but we do appreciate people letting us know. That's not even the point. We're not saying don't tell us, because we do want to hear from them. So thank you to everybody who obeyed the information and was patient going through that whole mess, because it took hours and hours to clean that up. So we appreciate everybody's time.
And I know we talk a lot about the border has become so, I hate to say normal, it's not the word I want to use, but normal in our daily work right now in policing. But we also had an operation this week. We took down 3 predators that you probably haven't heard about or seen about. That was a collective between Sierra PD, Sheriff's Office, DPS, HSI, all our partners were, and the County Attorney's Office, where, once again, we came together. And what is a sting operation? I'm going to use the word sting. I know it's an old school word, but we're people that are trying to get young juveniles, kids, to solicit them for sex. So we arrested 3 on that. Shame on them, by the way. But they're in custody.
And so with all of this going on, just really quickly want to do it. And one more side note, shout out to CCOM, because I tell you, they've got a lot of stuff going on. And one of the things that they've really, I guess, I don't want to say stepped up to, because they've always done it, but I really appreciate them, is the Are You OK system. They're monitoring that. They make sure that they get people called. Stacy Ekternoff from our IT is making sure that, she gets the computer running. And I know it's a little bit of a pain, but I do appreciate everything CCOM's doing in addition to what their normal duties are.
They do, and they're hiring, folks. They're hiring. So if you're looking to get into dispatch, they're hiring. Go to the City Services webpage. It does the oversight on hiring. It should be on our Cochise County website page under HR, Human Resources. So please, if they're hiring. But give me an example. Yesterday morning, 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning, Border Patrol's asking for backup. DPS is in a pursuit at 100 miles an hour. My deputies are on calls all over the county. I mean, we had nobody available, and people are calling dispatch. I mean, that's frustrating for them, but they have to prioritize. You have to keep their professionalism. It's busy times here in Cochise County for all public safety.
And Carol, you're doing something with DAR.
The Daughters of the American Revolution. They're having one of their ceremonies tomorrow at the mall at Sierra Vista, and that's where they recognize that this has been going on for over 233 years. So just making sure that we are there, we have a proclamation to provide to them. So thank you for the Daughters of the American Revolution.
It's really neat we get to do that. Carol, you did it last year. I've done it a couple before that, and we do actually do a certificate for DAR, and it's cool to present that to them.
The Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride is coming up November 5th, and you can already get your tickets, but this year you've made it bigger and better than ever.
We have. We're giving out $100,000 to 10 different charities this year, which brings our total since we started this. When I took over as sheriff, it's a brand new event that we started 10 years ago, and we have given out $300,000 inclusive of what we're doing this year. So that's pretty impressive.
And you can get your tickets right now. You can go to cochise.az.gov/sheriff charity-ride. You can also Google it if you can write that down so you can find it.
And I always give a shout out to Lawley Automotive Group and also American Southwest Credit Union, Jay and Sean, for their support. They're our partners in this. And then all our community, we need to probably address all our communities here, donors from the businesses and the people that make this happen. That's where the money comes from, folks.
It does. And so then speaking of all of these other events, just a shout out to the fire departments who had their 9/11 ceremonies on Sunday. I think that they turned out really well. They had a lot of participation. So it's one of those things that even though it happened so long ago, you just don't want to ever forget anything like that.
You don't. And what's scary is our high school kids weren't even born when this happened, 21 years ago. And so we never want to forget 9/11, the lessons of 9/11. One of the reasons I'm so strong on border security too, and the public safety, the Americans that died on that day 21 years ago. Take a moment and reflect on that. Everybody should do that. And if you're young and listening to this, going to school, go back and ask some people and do some research, because something we should never forget. That was pivotal in this country's history.
One thing that I always remember is I still have people that come up to me, because I've been doing radio a long time, and they say they heard it when I was talking about it on the radio. So being a part of that history, even personal histories for people, it's very humbling.
And if you ask people where you're at that day when this happened, as the Alan Jackson song sings, I mean, people can tell you exactly what they were doing. I was getting dressed for work, putting my boots on when that was notified on TV. I mean, we all thought it was, what's this? We didn't believe it. And but it's a real moment that we should never forget, and we should be smart and take those lessons forward.
Coming up, we've got the Cochise County Fair.
The Cochise County Fair. What number is this, Carol? Do we know?
93rd. 93rd.
Let's go with 93rd.
We'll say 93rd. Until
93rd. We'll stand corrected, or you'll let us know on social media, I'm sure. But 93rd Cochise County Fair. And as a county sheriff, as county departments and offices, you bet. We're going to be out there, and that starts Thursday. And you got the right number?
98th.
That was my second guess.
Yes,
98.
98. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was just digressing. So, yes.
I thought we were getting close to the 100.
Yes.
I remember saying that last year, that we're getting close to 100. But I thought, well, 93, we're close, I guess. But, yeah, so come out and join the Cochise County Fair. That's Thursday through Sunday in Douglas. If you have a county fair, that's what can you say? That's an American tradition.
Where else can you find deep fried butter that people want to eat, right?
or what? This isn't like alligators and everything else. They really. Yeah.
The food.
That's one thing I've not partaked in, is that kind of food.
And then get on a Ferris wheel.
And then get on a Ferris wheel.
And spin.
And spin, that's right.
Also want to remind everybody that it's snake season.
It is. I mean, Carrie, you put a snake on our Facebook. One of you two did. And I was going down there today, and I'm just afraid to death of snakes. I'm just not. And I respect them, but I don't mess with them. Well, I saw that snake on there. I'm going, why? But I get it. It's educational, it's awareness. Be very careful right now. Be very careful.
It's so bad that somebody even just as I'm going through Facebook stalking people, here in Hereford, they said just make sure even you check your outdoor patio furniture, because somebody had a snake stick or a broom handle, and they lifted the cushion from one of their chairs outside, and there was a snake under there. Oh my God. I would be already in Canada if that happened. I tell you, that there is no way. I do not like snakes.
Well, they're a cool creature. But yeah, as long as they're cool somewhere else besides my property and my footsteps, I'm fine. Oof.
Yeah, I hate to kill an animal. I really do. But if there's a snake coming at me,
Oh, yeah, I'll be gone. And people know that. That's one fear I do have, and I respect those that handle them. Mm-hmm. I never understood why people have a snake pet. Like you pet the head of it. I don't understand that concept, but to each their own. That's the great thing about living in this country.
Well, do you have a stop of the week?
I do, and that goes back to my safety message, and that is coming back from Tombstone there at night, and this car is going 13 to 15 miles under the speed limit, and you can tell when somebody's not paying attention. They drift one way, they drift another way, they speed up a little bit, they slow down, but the speed's consistently slow in this case, and you don't know if it's an impaired driver or what. So stop the vehicle, and she was on her phone. She was on the phone, I mean, with it in front of her, and I talked to her about that. I'm like, first of all, here's why I'm stopping you, because you're driving, but this is distracted driving, folks. It's dangerous driving. And I know we have a law in this state. We had a preparatory warnings period that was to get people kind of habitually changing, and a lot of people have. I commend you if you have. But I still see, you can't walk down or drive down the road without seeing people with their phone in their hand. Get the ear pods in the ear or whatever it takes, or the round sound in your car, but put that phone down. I pull off the road. I got the the round sound of my car now, where I just put the little ear pods in. It makes it so much nicer. Your hands are still on the steering wheel and you're driving, but if it's gonna be long during, I just pull over because it's just not a good thing. So please, I ask you, and then by law, we tell you, there's a lot of tickets going out that they weren't initially, and so put the phone down, folks. Slow down, put that phone down, put it away. We can't touch it. That way you won't have the issues that you're having.
Well, before you go, invite everybody to Cochise County football.
Join us tonight at this station at 6:30. Jeff and I will be doing the pregame at 6:30, and 7 o'clock we kick off with Buena taking on Gallus tonight. So please join us for that game.
And thanks for talking to us today, Sheriff Mark Daniels.
Thank you, Grady. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, everyone, and have a safe week.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Arizona at Work, Eric Grisham.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. And we have Arizona at Work, Eric Grisham. And thank you so much for coming today. It's our pleasure to have you here because I think people need to hear who you are and what you do.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Carol. It is, my little country self getting on the radio is a big step in life. But yeah, Arizona at Work, we're here to help people find jobs. We have workforce specialists to help people with resume writing, job search, job referrals. We also are secret side of the house is we have funding and grant money to help pay for education, training, and certifications. So we're here to help businesses and job seekers alike.
And if you want to grab your pen and paper, have that ready at the end of this article. We'll toss out some phone numbers and websites so you guys can take advantage of this service. But you just penned an article, and we'd like you to talk about that article, and it's very important.
Okay. So the article was talking about soft skills. So as I work with businesses throughout Cochise County and, I talk with co-workers and fellow workforce specialists throughout the state and the nation, there is a skill shortage out there. And it's not so much the hard skills that you learn in college or the trade schools, but it's those soft skills, or like some people like to call them professional skills, that there's such a gap. Being on time, dressing, acting, talking professional. There's such a shortage. More and more businesses are saying, hey, we hired 10 people. After the first day, 3 of them came back. No, the rest of them never even showed up. They didn't call, they didn't write. You remember back in the day, a 2-week notice was the professional way to do it, so the businesses could prepare for that loss, to look for a gain. But now there is such a shortage. I mean, a lot of the folks now, businesses are saying that getting people to come in on time. There's such a gap in the skill side of the house for those short skills. The sad part is, in the article I talked about, most of the soft skills or professional skills were learned at home years and years ago, and then they were just reinforced through going to school, socializing with friends, activities, sports. That's where you help develop them more and strengthen them. But nowadays, it's like everybody's wanting the schools to teach them. And then the schools are so busy with their state and federal curriculum that they skip it. I mean, a lot of the high schools teach, I know like in Sierra Vista School District, they teach Future Focus. Or over at the Center for Academic Success, they have Future 101. So these are classes that are supposed to prepare them for that transition into the real world, resume, job searches, professionalism. But they teach it at 9th grade. And then there's nothing else follow on. So like I told the superintendent one year, a couple of years back, I said, you know how much I forgot between 9th grade and 12th grade? I mean, you're going through a whole transition in your life. And a lot of these kids, and now it's even to the point where there's articles and reports out there that are saying businesses need to look at how can they develop soft skills and professional skills in their new hires, which to me is a bit crazy, because most businesses are out there to make money. They've got bills to pay, they've got people to feed, clothe, put shelter over, do they really have time to take a break and teach these skills? So there's a big disconnect out there.
And you are also teaching this at some level as well.
Yes. So I have been fortunate enough. I've sent an email out to all the high schools in the county offering my services. But I'm actually teaching at the Center for Academic Success right now, teaching their Future 101 class, because it's associated with the Arizona Career Readiness Credential. And what the ACRC is the governor's initiative. He tagged the Office of Economic Opportunity, and they work with Arizona at Work they brought in industry leaders and asked them, what is your biggest challenge in finding workers? And they identified 4 categories: applied mathematics, reading for information, which is like gathering data from charts and graphs, reading comprehension, and the professional skills. And the professional skills are broke down into communicating effectively, critical thinking, conveying professionalism, teamwork, and collaboration. So I told the students and the faculty at CAST that, the math and the reading, that should be something that has been taught up to that point. They're in high school. They should already have this down. But the professional skills, I've actually taken the time, about 4 weeks, and been teaching it. Now, it is a self-paced class, but we've tried to break it down and talk about it a little bit, because everybody learns a little different. Some students were all over the computer and they were doing it, going along, but even then, a lot of them didn't quite understand, because technology has limited us to so many degrees. I talked about it in the article as well, with from internet to social media to certain types of video games and online gaming. We've become socially awkward.
That's absolutely correct.
And I've got 7 kids of my own, so I see a lot of it just at my house. I go home and I'm like, oh my gosh, they can't solve simple problems. So I've taken the time, and matter of fact, we tested this week. I go today to finish up for those that had maybe missed a day or so, but this will be the first set of Arizona Career Readiness credentials that Cochise County has seen at the high school level. So we're hoping to do a little ceremony, present these kids with their certificates that have completed it, and we'll invite all the news and everybody out there to make a big deal about it, because it is. I mean, it gives these kids a certificate that says they completed this, and on the back it shows the employer, if they take it to the employer, that they are proficient in certain skills that have been identified through the ACRC. So really looking forward to that.
And one of the other things that you do are job fairs. And so you have one coming up September 30th, and there's a lot of good things going on. It's going to be right there at your office at the downtown center. So just tell us really quickly about that. So
September 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're going to do our 2022 Fall Hiring Fair. I've already got about 50 employers signed up for it. It's an in-person job fair, the best way for you to get in, to talk to people, to network. Even if you're not interested in applying for a place, you can go in, and most of the folks there will review your resume, give you pointers and tips. And now you have a person on the other side that you can, I guess, hold accountable, because so many people say, oh, I've applied for 1,000 jobs and heard nothing. So now you have a chance to actually meet somebody, get their card, and you have somebody to follow up with. It's a great opportunity. In March, we actually had several people hired on spot.
And that's what you wanted, a job fair.
Yes, exactly.
So how can people get a hold of you at Arizona Outwork if they want to take advantage of all of your services?
Okay, so the best way to contact us, you can call us at 520-458-9309, or you can come by and see us at our office at 2600 East Wilcox Drive in Sierra Vista. We're at the Cochise College Downtown Center. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We also have an office in Douglas at 515 East 7th Street in Douglas. We have a Facebook page. You can like us at Arizona at Work Southeastern Arizona on Facebook. That's probably one of the best ways to keep up to date with what we're doing.
Well, Eric, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have one of our charity ride recipients, Lori's Place.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. We have Ann from Lori's Place. Thank you so much for being here today.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Lori's Place. You're going to be one of the recipients for the charity ride. You're going to get $10,000. So kind of tell the community what it is you do at Lori's Place for the community.
We, at Lori's Place, we are a family advocacy center, so we provide services to victims of violent crime, whether that be sexual assault, murder, witness to homicide, I should say, witness to suicide, any kind of violent crime that they're either a victim of or a witness to. We provide an array of services. We have victim advocates. We have a forensic interviewer who does the interviews with children, minors under the age of 18, who there's suspicion of some sort of abuse of the child. We also have therapists who provide trauma therapy to these individuals. And I could go on for quite a while because there's a lot of services that we provide. Our services are free. They're no charge. We are a nonprofit, and we are funded by grants, donations, and fundraisers.
And so that's what the charity ride is also, is we're excited to be able to provide you with funds from that event.
And that's fantastic. Thank you so much, and thank you to Sheriff Daniels for that, because it will go very far in our ability to help the public.
Now, when somebody has gone through a traumatic event, is that something that they reach out to you for, or do law enforcement refer them? How do you get a hold of the people that you're trying to help?
It's all of the above. So we do have people who come to us when they've heard about us, they're in a situation, and they come as walk-ins or phone calls. We are 24/7. We have a hotline, so we can be reached any time of the night, day and night. And we also work closely with law enforcement, so they bring folks in. Some folks, they know enough to file the report first. And then we also work with DCS. Sometimes they will bring children in, and that's usually a combination. It's called a multidisciplinary team, which is how we approach those types of cases when they're minors. It's a coordinated effort between all the agencies to make sure that the children are, taken care of, and that everyone does their part to make sure that those children are safe and cared for.
And you're getting $10,000 from the Sheriff's Charity Ride, which will go to a lot of programs. But how are you usually funded?
Like I said, we get a grant. It's called from VOCA, that's Victim of Crimes Act. That is one of the larger grants that we get. We apply for other grants. We've had CORE grant. We've had grants from the Legacy Foundation. Additionally, we get donations, and that really helps us out when some of those grants are very specific for very specific things. Donations and fundraisers help us with the basic operations costs, which isn't necessarily covered by any kind of grants.
And you have a fundraiser coming up in October.
It's actually, it's not really a fundraiser. We do accept donations, but this is our way of giving back to the community and helping spread the word of who we are and what we do. It's our second annual community giveaway. So we've been taking in lots of donations in items, household items, clothing, toys, pretty much anything you can think of like that. And we are full to the gills. And on October 15th, starting at 10 o'clock, we will have tables and clothing racks and stuff like that out in our front parking lot, and basically it's there for the community that have needs to come and take what they need, and if they want to leave a donation, that would be fantastic also.
And another way you can donate to Lori's Place is through a tax credit. I know it's not tax season right now, but get this in your mind that you can get a dollar-for-dollar return on a tax credit to Lori's Place, and your tax guy will know everything about it.
That's correct. And it's really, it's good because it doesn't affect if you make other charitable donations to like the schools or something like that. This has no effect on that.
So if people want to donate, if they want to give you guys some money, if they want to get a hold of you for any reason, how do they get a hold of Lori's Place?
So they can call us directly. Our number is 520-515-4444. They can come by and see us at 214 East Tacoma Street in Sierra Vista. They can go to our website, which is www.loriesplaceaz.org. They can go to our Facebook page, which is Lori's Place. And like I said, they can come by. We love to have people come by, check out the facility, and you know, see. It's really a unique facility because it's very warm and friendly and comfortable, and it's a great place to kind of ease some of the trauma that these folks have gone through.
Well, Ann, we thank you for what you do in the community, and congratulations on getting that $10,000 from the Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride.
Yes, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that's going to help out.
And you can help out by getting your tickets now to the Charity Ride. You can go to cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity-ride, or you can just Google the Sheriff's Charity Ride. And thanks for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you so much.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Sierra Vista PD and Sierra Vista Fire, and they're going to talk to you about Child Safety Passenger Week.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. And in the studio with us now, we've got Corto from the Sierra Vista Fire Department and Wachtel from the Sierra Vista Police Department, because this is a very special week.
Good morning, Grady. Good morning, Cochise County. Yeah, starting us this Sunday, September 8th, is Child Passenger Safety Week. So the Sierra Vista Police Department will be tightening up enforcement efforts with joint forces with the Sierra Vista Fire Medical Service to support the National Child Passenger Safety Week. Again, it'll start this Sunday, September 18th, and it'll run through Saturday, September 24th.
So how do you get your kid in the correct seat?
Well, the easiest way would be to read the instructions that come with the car seat, but if they can sometimes be Greek for a lot of people. So we have technicians over at Sierra Vista Fire Medical Services, and Fry Fire also has that. If you just contact us through our city webpage, you put in a request, and we can get you a technician to help install that car seat the proper way.
Excellent. So you actually have a professional help you put it in.
Correct. We have a certified professional through the Safe Kids Worldwide network that will assist you in making sure that that's in correctly so your child is safe.
Now, if you have the child seat and it's in safe, you still have to use it.
Correct. There is a law in Arizona that requires that you have your child in a seat. The current max is 8 years old or 4'9", whatever comes first. From there, you have to use the seat properly, which means if you have a seat that says 22 pounds for forward facing, but your child's 18 pounds and you put them forward facing, you're actually in violation of the law and can get a ticket.
Let's talk about front seat versus back seat.
You mean like in the front of the car? The front of the car, we really want to keep children out of that front of the car until they're about 13 years old. The reason is those airbags deploy at about 200 miles an hour, and children don't tend to sit back. They like to play with everything, so they sit really close to that airbag, and if it hits them, it can blast the life out of them.
And what is the law about having your kids in a car seat? What are the consequences?
Yeah, so just like Mike mentioned, so basically a person shall not operate a motor vehicle when transporting a child who is under the age of 5 or under the age of 8 and is also less than 4 feet 9 inches in height. So basically, you know, we can't emphasize this, guys. It's the safety of the children. So if you get pulled over, and we witness this, obviously you'll get a ticket, and then you'll have to face the consequences at court. So the bottom line is, it doesn't need to go that far. Buckle up. I mean, buckle up your children. It's easy as that.
And this is something you can get in trouble for all the time, but this week you're kind of putting a spotlight on this and looking for it.
Yeah, so basically this week we will basically zero tolerance on the child restraint and seatbelt violations. So our officers will be out there looking for it. So again, this is a decision that we all make. Just like I'm in here other times talking about impaired driving. You are physically putting your child in that vehicle and you driving away. So just one stat I would like to mention from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. On the average, 2 children under the years of 13 were killed and about 278 were injured each day in 2020 while riding in cars, SUVs, pickups, and vans not buckled up. So the bottom line is just buckle up.
Each day. Wow, that's a.
It doesn't matter if you're going to travel 5 minutes. It doesn't matter if you're going to, take a trip up to Tucson or Phoenix. Just, these are children we're talking about. These are our future. Just buckle these kids up.
So give us one more time the information on how they can contact you to make sure that's put in correctly.
Well, there are 2 ways. The easiest way quickly right now is if you go to the city website, do a search for car seat requests, just fill in the information that's there, and we'll get you a technician to call you to help set up an appointment, take care of you. The other way is next Thursday, I believe it's the 22nd, we're going to be at the Farmers Market from 10 to 2. We're going to have a booth, and we'll have some information packets that explain more about car seats. And if we're not able to explain enough for you there, we'll also have somebody that can help get you signed up so that we can get you a technician to take care of you.
All right, well, everybody buckle up and buckle up your kids, and especially this next week, there's zero tolerance, but do it all year round, that's for sure. Well, Corto and Wachtel, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.